All right, I'm back. I'm glad to know there's a lot of great conversation going on, including at our table, because part of the point of an event like this is to bring you together and let you share some time. But now I'm going to stop it, because now it's time to present the James Hyson Awards. The James Hyson Awards are presented each year to outstanding business customers, leaders in community development, and advocates who embody the spirit and the passion of Jim Hyson. Mr. Hyson was instrumental in forming Community First Fund. As one of the founding members, he put into action what he believed in, giving people a fair opportunity to participate in the local economy. To present the awards, please welcome fellow Community First Fund board members Carlos Lopez, Jonathan Encarnacion, and Marilyn Hedge.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. The Advocate Award is given to a partner that understands and supports the needs of our clients and does an outstanding job of providing referrals to our lending staff. This year's awardee is the Kutztown University Small Business Development Center. Executive Director Ernie Post will be accepting the award. The SBDC and Ernie have been great supporters of Community First Fund, connecting us with business owners who need information and financing. Now please watch this video about the Kutztown University SBDC and their work with Community First.
The Kutztown University Small Business Development Center provides free confidential consulting to startups and established businesses in the 5-county region. The reality is most banks do not, want to or are able to lend to first-time startup entrepreneurs, and Community First Fund fills that gap and provides the capital in many cases to qualified individuals that otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to pursue their passion of entrepreneurship.
Leopoldo Sanchez recently opened his grocery store, Supernatural and Fresh Produce. He's been a tremendous success story for us in the center and for Community First Fund. He took our class, Spanish Language Business Skills for Success, 2 years ago. And from that class, he worked on a business plan and was able to ultimately purchase a bar property in the city, convert it into a grocery store. I think it's going to have a transformative effect on the neighborhood. We worked with him in terms of putting the loan together, the original loan package that went to Community First Fund. More recently, helping him to navigate zoning and codes issues to finally be able to open this past spring. Community First Fund was instrumental in the project. First, 2 years ago, coming into the classroom and talking about lending issues and credit issues. But later, extending a large portion of the loan and a large portion of the financing that went into making that project a reality. We constantly see clients who are startups, they're small businesses, they're struggling a little bit, maybe they have a spotty past, but they have good character, they've got good businesses, they're going to make an impact on the community. And Community First Fund plays a really important role in being able to step in, give them a lifeline, and help push them into success.
First of all, on behalf of Community First Fund, I would like to acknowledge City Council President for the City of Reading, Mr. Jeff Woolman. Jeff, welcome. Our Community Development Award is given to a community development partner that is creating catalytic change in their community. Today, we honor the iLead Charter School, the first brick-and-mortar charter school in the city of Reading. The award will be accepted by the iLead Charter School CEO, Angel Figueroa, whose hard work and determination made iLead a reality. Please watch this video to see how Angel and his team made that happen.
Well, iLead Charter School is a second chance school. It's for students that have either dropped out of traditional school or students that are at risk of dropping out. Typically, when you start a school, you start it for the gifted, the arts, or the little kids. And what we saw was there's this huge population of 15, 16, 17-year-old students that were just, falling through the cracks and not having a second chance.
We believe that the pathway to community success is to invest in people in their individual leadership capacity. And we believe that people can be the agents of transformation in a community. The most important element of any community are the individual leaders and the capacity that they bring to solve their own problems. Starting any organization is difficult, but starting a school is particularly hard. You have so much work to do in terms of planning facilities, building the team. Community First Fund came to the table and they offered support when many other groups were saying, oh, we don't know, it's too early. We want to see the success before we invest. Community First Fund was able to see us in context. They were able to look at our whole history as an organization. And then they were willing to do something courageous, which is get in and support early when we really needed the support. And that support led to so much other success. Today we can barely believe the distance that we've traveled.
This investment, I think, is going to be able to provide not only an opportunity for students to succeed, but also to free a population from the bondage of poverty. So I think from the perspective of what Community First Fund is all about and our intention in terms of creating economically development opportunities, it is win-win connection.
These kids remind me of me. I was once one of these kids that fell through the cracks. And the mere fact that I've been given this opportunity to start and to be a part of a school that's addressing the very same population that I once was when I was 15, 16 years old is extremely magical. I lead and I believe in these kids, and that's why the charter school has made such a professional and personal impact in my life. And it will for many other children.
Congratulations to the iLead team. Angel, please join us on stage.
I'm going to represent the Entrepreneur Award, which is given to a successful business owner who embodies our mission. Today we honor an outstanding gentleman, Johnny Birch, who's the owner of Carlisle Taekwondo and Fitness Academy. Johnny has dedicated his entire life to teaching the art of Taekwondo and instilling confidence in children of all ages. Please watch this video to hear more about Johnny's journey.
I've been doing martial arts for over 25 years, and it always went back to wanting to share what I was taught. If I only had my own school where I can teach anyone that walked in the door, that would be great. And I looked around, everybody told me no. I offered to teach for free. So I said, the only way to do it is to actually start a business and do it myself. I called my bank, Members First, and I said, hey, here's what I want to do. Can you help me? The guy listened to my story and he goes, well, have you heard about Community First Fund?
Community First Fund really does provide opportunities to a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs who otherwise would not have a chance to pursue their dreams, giving them an opportunity to be able to realize their dreams and helping them be able to finance their ambitions.
I had savings that I could contribute to starting the business, but it wasn't enough. And Community First Fund, having that loan available to me, basically was the one thing that started the business. Martial arts schools are something that contribute to society. We build character in kids. We help people develop confidence, self-esteem. We have national champions, state champions, and some people go, well, okay, they're a champion, cool. No, these are kids who, without martial arts, have never been told that they're somebody. They've never been told that they are a champion, they're a winner. And being able to assist with that and impact their lives means so much.
Johnny helps not only prepare them for the mission they have at hand, but then also to be able to take what they learn here and apply it to life as they get older and grow and become productive citizens in the community that they decide to live in.
Without Community First Fund, I would not be where I am today. There would be no Carlisle Taekwondo. A lot of people would not have the chance to experience what I have to offer, and I'm truly grateful for what Community First Fund has done.
X kick, turn around, ready, X kick.
Johnny, come here. Thank you.
Well, isn't that awesome? All those great awards. And this is, give yourselves a hand. This is what Community First Fund is all about. Well, good afternoon. I'm Jerry Meck. I'm a member of the Community First Fund Board of Directors, and I am always so encouraged about the future when I come to this event and meet so many of our clients and partners. Our award winners are such an inspiring group of individuals. This is why I'm a part of the board of directors. Those videos really tell the story of how important our work is. So today, I'm asking you to support the work of the founders of Community First Fund, who believed in giving everyone a fair chance to succeed, giving everyone a fair chance to succeed. So I know you all will want a chance to be part of the solution to end poverty in this region. So you have been participants today, so now you can help us contribute. You can contribute to our organization. So today I'm asking you to support us with a contribution. As a board member, I've already made my contribution, and our firm, North Group Consultants, is a sponsor of the event, so we lead by our example. And so I'm asking you to join the board in making a contribution to this wonderful organization. So you can do that in 3 different ways. You can donate online at communityfirstfund.org. You can make a donation or a pledge in the envelope that is found in you all have these annual reports. There's an envelope in the middle. Feel free to take that out, and you can make a donation in that way. Or I got my credit card out here. I'm not going to give you my name on the number on the credit card, but by credit card at the registration table as you leave. So please take a moment today to complete your contribution before you leave. You can place your contribution in the envelope in the table, or you can give it to one of the staff persons when you leave here today. So on behalf of the board members and our clients, our volunteers and our staff, thank you so much for your support, and we look forward to your continuing support of Community First Fund.
Thanks, Jerry. And you know, at these kinds of events, sometimes the organization that's hosting them apologizes for interrupting and asking for money. Well, we don't make apologies when we're asking for your money because we know that what we are doing with it is so worthwhile, and we should not feel ever like we have to apologize for asking people to support things that are worth doing. Speaking of things that are worth doing and people who do them, it's now my pleasure to introduce the President and CEO of Community First Fund, Dan Betancourt. Many of you know that Dan left a career in the for-profit banking sector. It feels like about 25 or more years ago. I don't know how long it's actually been, Dan, to take over as the leader of Community First Fund. And year after year after year, Dan continues to not only meet but beat the goals that the board sets for him and the high standards he sets for himself. He continues to take Community First Fund to truly remarkable places, to where on a state and a national level, we are now a highly, highly recognized organization. It is to his great credit. Please welcome my good friend, Dan Betancourt.
Thank you for that introduction, Eric. He went off script. He said very kind things, and I really want to thank you, Eric. We have a great partnership with, of course, myself with the chair and the board and our staff. So again, thank you, Eric. Also, I want to thank you, our guests, for being here today. I know that you've traveled from many towns across the region and also here locally. It really touches me to know that all of our friends came out today, so thank you for that. I also want to thank our 4 major sponsors. You've heard from them. They're the reason why we can have such a great program today. So again, thank you for your support. And I want to thank all the other sponsors as well. And also especially want to thank our board and our staff. You should know how dedicated they are to our mission. You hear Eric's passion, but all of our staff members and all of our board members are just as passionate and work so hard throughout the year. So thank you for that. Today, I want to talk to you about the future of our region and about the hopes for that future. But in order to help us glimpse the future, I'm going to take you back to the past and also ask you a question in a few moments. I believe you're familiar with the vision of Community First Fund for this region. That vision is a bold one to essentially the vision is to eliminate poverty in the regions and towns of this region. So let me, in order to make that vision alive for you, I want to take you back to the past. Many of you have been to Reading and seen and felt the challenges of that city. And some of the neighborhoods are working while others are not. But let me take you back to Reading that I remember back in the late 70s and early 80s. Who remembers Reading back then? Anyone? Great. Joan Broadhead, our COO, lived there back then in the earlier part of her banking career. And it was a great place for everyone. There was jobs for everyone who wanted one. There were factories that hired local people there, and those factories in turn had outlet stores. And many people would come around from the region. The tourists would come to visit those outlet stores, and children would cater to them, would set up lemonade stands. Kids, it was just a wonderful place. It felt safe. You can walk around. And let's just think of that time as Reading's golden age. Now, it doesn't escape me that at that time there was segregation in Reading. I'm well aware of that. But economically speaking, it was an extremely prosperous city. So prosperous that there were 2 to 3 banks in downtown Reading at that time. And you can see that things have changed since then. But now, I'd like you to imagine a future golden age for this region, not only for Reading, but other towns like York and Harrisburg and Lancaster, and of course Lebanon, among others. I know that we hear about the poverty rates being very high today at 30 to 40% in these neighborhoods. But let's just imagine a new golden era that poverty is gone. And there are areas of more wealth and less wealth. And the segregation that we so often see today, both economic and racial, is gone. And because of that, we have an even stronger community than we had before. Because from diversity comes true vibrancy in our communities. So everyone, do you have this new picture in your mind, this new golden era? Do you have that? Please nod your head if you get that picture. Great. We'll get you involved. So now, here's the question that I wanted to ask you today. Let's see a show of hand or nodding of your head if you can vision this new golden era that I'm referring to. Great. And that's the vision, and it's great to see that. So here's the other question. For those of you who say, Dan, that's a great vision for the region, but I'm not sure if we can get there. I'm not quite sure that we have the resources or the focus to get there. Please raise your hand or at least nod your head. All right, I know it's hard to admit that, but I'm sure there's a few folks out there that might feel it might be hard to get there. Because I think when we talk about poverty, we're torn between our hopes and our doubts. So let me tell you where I'm at on this question today of this new golden era. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that that we can reach that golden age for this region, to an age where there's no racial or economic segregation. And I'm hopeful because of individuals like Denise Taylor. Denise is a young African-American woman from the city of Harrisburg. And she recently got a loan from us and opened up a daycare center right in downtown Harrisburg on Paxton Street. And Denise saw a real opportunity to help low-income families in her community. She wants to provide, obviously, safe educational opportunities for young families, because she knows, as we all know in this room, how important it is to invest in young families. And you want to know why I'm hopeful? I'm hopeful because of friends and people like Alan Schumann. You heard from, he's a sponsor earlier today. Alan, raise your hand there. I want you to know, Alan's an amazing guy. His heart and soul is in rebuilding the city of Reading. He's a real estate developer, and he's rebuilding that city block by block. And I don't see anything or anyone that can stop Alan from working in his town, not even an arsonist who sparked a devastating fire in the last year at his Big Mill Outlet project. And after a full year of working hard, Alan, and rebuilding that building that he recently renovated, he's going to open up that building and the apartments and the shops and bring new life and hope into a poor neighborhood in the city of Reading. That's why I'm hopeful, because of people like Alan and others. I'm hopeful that after 20 years of working to end poverty in our communities, we are approaching the tipping point when the momentum will catch on and people will move back into the neighborhoods of this region. But I wouldn't be telling you the truth if I didn't share with you the challenges that I see for our region as well. Last year in my talk, I talked about the critical importance of economic development plans for our region and how important it was to include poor people into those plans. And I believe we're evolving on this issue, because now we see that the cities and towns of this region are including poverty and elimination of poverty in their economic development plans. We've seen that. We had to struggle a bit on this issue over the last year, and I'm glad to see the debates in our towns about this issue. I'm glad that there have been academic studies from local universities and colleges like Franklin Marshall College. They identified the disparities for the towns in this region, especially they were focused on Lancaster in this particular study. And what they showed was that people of color have not fared well in Lancaster since the recession. I'm glad that the study has prompted excellent public discussion over the past year. And our leaders agree that the time has come for us to work on solutions to end poverty in Lancaster and beyond. I'm sure that you agree with me, it's not easy to face these tough issues, but I think we're better for it. And our conversations have changed. We cannot go back now. I was delighted to hear of the efforts of our Mayor Gray. You heard from him earlier. He recently established a commission to end poverty. Mayor, we salute you for your establishment of the commission. It's a great start. My friends, I spoke earlier of a golden age for this region. One reason gold is so precious is we know it does not tarnish. Other metals do, like copper and silver, but gold does not. And I'm here to say that every plan to overcome poverty in our region must integrate combined strategies to include workforce development and social development combined with economic development. We also need to make sure that all banks invest in poor neighborhoods and see it as an opportunity to invest in poor people and not just a requirement, a regulatory CRA requirement. And I know many of the banks, and all the banks actually, partnering with us to invest in local communities, and I'm grateful for that. We will continue working together. But I want to encourage you to work even more to invest in these poor neighborhoods so we can build the wealth that we're looking for in this region. If we don't work together as a community to build wealth in these cities, we're not going to get to this new golden age that we talked about, and our progress is going to be tarnished. So I believe it comes down to you, the individuals here in this room, are visionaries and change makers. Before I wrap up my comments today, I want to share a brief story with you which I think will illustrate my point. I once heard a story about a village at the base of a mountain. And now on top of this mountain lived a wise old man, whom it was said that he would tell you anything truthfully if you asked him a question. The villagers would often go to him for advice, and he would always tell them the truth. So it happened one day that two boys in this village decided to play a trick on the old man. And one of them caught a bird and held it in his hands, and they climbed up the mountain together to talk to that old man. And the young man said to the old man, "Tell me truthfully, tell me today, what I have in my hand, is it dead or is it alive?" You see, his plan was to make the old man wrong. For if the old man said it was dead, the boy would open up his hand and set that bird free. And if he said it was alive, he would take that bird and crush it in his hand and show the old man the dead bird. "So tell me," said the boy, "tell me the truth. Is it dead or is it alive?" And the old man looked at the boys for a long time, and he said, finally, "I will tell you the truth. The truth is in your hands." So the thought that I want to leave with you today is for those of you who are visionaries and change makers in your community, and I know you're here in the room, I can see you. Will you work with us at Community First Fund to truly integrate prosperity into all the neighborhoods in your community? I believe you will, and I hope I'm right, because the truth is in your hands. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for partnering with us throughout the year. Again, thank you. And now on to another part of the program. It's my pleasure to introduce a very dynamic leader in Lisa Riggs, who is with us here today. Lisa is the president of the Lancaster County Economic Development Company. The EDC, should know, is an incredible partner to Community First Fund, has been for many, many years, and we work together jointly to finance a number of projects across the region. Again, please welcome Lisa Riggs.
Thank you, Dan. And congratulations to you and the entire Community First Fund team. A number of our friends are here from the team, and this is just an amazing event, and it's just a great way to showcase the success of Community First Fund. The stories we've heard today are fantastic, and congratulations to the award winners, just terrific stories. At EDC and EDC Finance Corporation, we are really good partners with Community First Fund, and we feel so fortunate to have an organization like Community First Fund in our community. Our work and our missions are complementary, and the respect and the collegiality between our teams is just really strong. So congratulations today on just an incredible event. I get the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker today. And as the mayor said earlier, I think we're all really eager to hear from him. Mr. Williams has spent much of his life in the public arena. Some of you may know him or recognize him in his role as a political analyst for Fox News and in his previous work at NPR. He is an accomplished journalist, and as the mayor noted, has written 7 books, including several on the great leaders of our civil rights era. He is known to be provocative and direct, and so we are very much looking forward to his remarks today. Ladies and gentlemen, Juan Williams.
Thank you very much. Lisa, thanks for that warm introduction. You could have mentioned that I was my high school valedictorian. So what if I was homeschooled? What difference did that make? It's a pleasure to meet so many of you. It's great to realize the power of Fox News. I came in and so many people wanted to say hello. When I used to work for NPR, Lisa went over that, how they fired me, very quickly. Thank you, Lisa. People would come up to me and they'd say, it's great to put a face with the voice. And I would say, I didn't know what you look like either. But so now I work in TV, all the time, and people come up to me and they say, taller, shorter, fatter, thinner. The other day, a lady said to me, it's great to put a body with the talking head. I'd never heard that before. I thought that was ingenious. That was terrific. By the way, I was telling Dan I really like this hotel. I told him it's going to be tough for me to check out. The towels are so fluffy I won't be able to close my suitcase. I tell you, this is a great hotel. Maybe I shouldn't have told him that. I don't know. Anyway, thank you all for coming today. What a great turnout. It's a little chilly outside. As I was walking around downtown Lancaster, I was reminded that in Washington, you can tell when it's getting cold because the politicians on Capitol Hill are all walking around with their hands in their own pockets. That's when you know it's cold in D.C. But I'm warmed by the spirit of all of you being here to celebrate Community First Fund. And as a visitor, you know, learning about Community First Fund, understanding what it does here, I truly am warmed by the spirit of this event. I see people helping people. I see the helping hand and how it makes a difference. Johnny, you better look out. You're not so tough. I can beat you up, Johnny. But I was reminded in thinking about what all of you do, leaders in this community, particularly people who are leaders in the financial world, people in the business world, the politicians in this community. What came to my mind, I was reminded of a sign I saw outside a church once, and the sign said, the best way to measure your wealth is what you have when all the money is gone. And I was thinking to myself in terms of Community First, when all the money's gone, you have people who will have benefited from your investment, that you can see family, you can see the smile on a child's face, you can see the opportunity in an ambitious young soul being satisfied, that they will have the opportunity to go forward. You can see more retail activity, bustle on the streets instead of fear. You can see supermarkets where there used to be food deserts. You can see people inspired, people touched, people being mentored. And I think really, when you put all of what we do day to day, we all get so busy. We all get overwhelmed with our day-to-day activities. But when you put it all behind you, in terms of a life of effort, whether it's in banking, investment, politics, business, as I said earlier, you want to know that you made a difference. You want to know that people will remember you not as a dollar figure, but as someone who was involved and a member of this community. And again, in thinking about Community First and that kind of mission, I was reminded of something that sort of goes beyond politics. I live in a world of very intense politics. But you know, we all die. And when Ted Kennedy died, one of the most interesting things happened. It turned out that he had written, as a Catholic, a letter to the Pope as he was on his deathbed. And in this letter, Ted Kennedy, you know, the Kennedy fortune, brother of Robert and John, so tremendous name in our nation, a man with a record as a legislator in the Senate of the United States. He writes a letter to the Pope, and he doesn't mention anything about being the great Ted Kennedy or the Kennedy family name. Instead, he writes a letter to the Pope in which he says that he hopes the Pope would understand that he spoke up for the elderly, he spoke up for children, for immigrants, for drug addicts, for single mothers and the poor. And here's a quote from the letter. He says, quote, "I want you to know, Your Holiness, that in my 50 years of elective office, I've been a champion for the rights of the poor and I've tried to open doors of economic opportunity, end quote. And I thought to myself, wow. So here's someone, when they're asking the Pope to speak to God as they are about to go to the beyond, this is what he says. This is how he wants to be known. This is his credential. This is the basis in which he makes his appeal, is that he wants to be known for having helped others. So it strikes me as I'm coming here to visit, as I'm coming to learn about Community First, and I think to myself, here is an example of people working together, living together in a way that would help them be remembered in terms of the soul of this community. And I say this with some passion to all of you as leaders here, because I think being a leader in a community in transition, in change, is very difficult for all of you. Change can be unsettling. I run into people who tell me, they're great leaders because they react well to change. React well. Then I run